Manashtana halayla hazeh, right? We just said that. Manashtana, what is it different? Tonight. Now it's not tonight. Tonight is the morning. So what's going to be different today? What's going to be different today that you get a speaker all the way from LA? I didn't come just for here, but for here and somewhere else. And let's say it's a really good talk. I don't know, I have no clue. Okay, so let's say this really, really works well. And you all, or some, or most, or a few, get really, really, really excited. Fired up. Your neshama is ablaze. You're inspired. Very inspired. But manashtana halayla hazeh, what is this going to be different than all the other times speakers were here and you were inspired? And I'm sure there are better speakers than me can inspire you much more than me. So therefore, we remember it's not about the inspiration, but it's about a game plan. A way in which we're going to take all this inspiration that we might get today and actually do something. Okay, I'm from LA, so I'm going to use this. Do something awesome. Crazy awesome. So awesome that we actually get the job done. And it all started in Beis Rivkah High School. Imagine if this is an historical moment where you girls set off something so incredible that goes viral and it transforms the entire world. I'm setting myself up for a high task. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this together. It's nothing to do with me, okay? So let's see if we can really, really do something incredible. Okay, so have any of you recently been on a road trip? Okay. If you've been on a road trip, I'm talking about a good, not alone or two people, but a family road trip. Family road trips are all these usual things when you have like the most beautiful memories from and the most horrific memories of. So we're going to talk about one of those road trips that you have both. Okay? Beautiful memories because whatever, it was just there was something great. But also a little bit of an horrific experience, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so basically the road trip is as follows. Uncle Shmuley is a shliach in, let's say, Massachusetts or in Pittsburgh. And you're going to your Uncle Shmuley and Chani's Chabad house. And the whole family is going together, and special for the occasion, you rented a 12-seater larger van. Okay, and you fit in 14 people into the 12-seater larger van. Okay, and everybody's on their way. Everybody, happy family. Everybody is going to Uncle Shmuley and Chani for Pesach. We're all super excited. But obviously, as happens in all Jewish families, before you leave town, you remember that just in case maybe we didn't buy enough food. Familiar, right? So we stop off at somewhere, and of course, no one is allowed to get out of the car, right? Besides one or two that are going to go get the extra nash that is needed. Okay, fine. So it's already starting in the good leg, right? And it takes a little too long. They're not getting out of the grocery store. But then we're on our way. Suddenly we realize, oh, gewalt, forgot to take a long conditioner. Ugh. So next stop is stop off in Target, right? We stop in Target and we need okay, that's a little bit further up. And then after about an hour of driving in the car, in the van, At that point, we need to kind of, this starts a little bit, someone has to go to the bathroom, right? So we have to pull over. That's the first bathroom stop. So we pull over somewhere and find the gas station, and the bathroom is, whatever. But we managed to go to the bathroom and, pick up maybe something, and then we're on our way further. And then we pass, and the road starts getting a little nice because you get out of the city, and then there's a nice scenic spot. So stretch your legs, everybody gets out on the scenic spot, spend some time, then it's a whole work because your brothers started running down the hill, and we have to get him from down the hill and bring him back up. Anyways, till you got everybody, it's supposed to be a 5-minute stop, it ended up being like a 18-minute stop at best. We're on our way, now it's picnic time for lunch. Stop at a good lake and we have lunch. By now already there's at least 3 fights happening and everybody is very, 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 very having a great time. Okay, now we're continuing further and we're going, and okay, I can tell you the whole story. The story keeps on going because there's many more gas station stops and there's Slurpees and there's all the stuff that keeps everybody happy as we're making our way. And of course, on the way there has to be one town that has a kosher pizza shop. So of course we have to detour at least 45 minutes because, we're already over here and it's not too far. Let's go have some pizza and then we continue. It's a whole story, okay? Finally we arrive. Now you've never been to Uncle Shmuly's and Chani's Chabad house. You've never been there. But how do you know that you arrived? Actually, your parents have also never been there. This is the first time. It's actually a new Chabad house. How do you know you have arrived? Yeah, it's usually because the GPS says you have reached your destination. Okay? So because the GPS said that you reached your destination, so you know this is the block. But you arrive about 11 o'clock at night, and it's the Chabad house is next to a few apartment complexes, so there isn't really any parking. Okay, now everybody's been in this car already for 8 hours, right? So picture this, okay? I want you to really be with me on this. So you start circling the block, or once, twice, and you're going this way, and that way, and the other way, and the other way, and you're circling and circling, and you're going crazy, you're getting frustrated, right? Anyways, you can imagine the situation. It's one thing to be on a journey, to be and going somewhere, but when you're actually at the destination and you can't get out of the car, and you can't get out of that van, everybody's, what's going to happen to the car? First of all, it's a ton of potato chips all over the car. You got that? There's a lot of frustration. And everybody's, it's not a good situation. You really, really need to get out of the car already. Okay, so now girls, let me just ask you. Imagine if you're looking for parking for a week. How about a month? How about if you're looking for parking for 28 years? In the back of the car. You had a whole bunch of birthday parties already. Everybody. Does everybody agree it's time to find the parking and get out of that car already? You all agree? That's all I wanted to tell you today. I'm sorry. The Rebbe told us 28 years ago, we reached our destination. We had a beautiful ride. We've been doing this ride for 3,500 years. We stopped in every gas station and every rest area. We had every Slurpee we can have. We had all the fun you can have on a road trip. Pictures and selfies at scenic areas. Unbelievable things. It was great. It was awesome. But the Rebbe said 28 years ago, you have reached your destination. There's no way we would know. How do you know? No one else knows. No one of the Jewish people knows. The only one who knows, the Rebbe knows. He says, you have reached your destination. But we're still sitting in the car. And you know what? Here's the thing. The Rebbe says parking, it's your job. Or let me change the story a little bit. How about if it wasn't a car? I was flying on a plane last night. How about when you have the stories when you land, and for whatever reason, the gate, the plane, it's like after a 12-hour flight to Eretz Yisrael or something, we're back. Eretz Yisrael are pretty good. But you kind of come back and you're sitting and they don't have a gate open, and for whatever reason they say we're going to sit on just another 15 minutes, just another half an hour, just another hour. Now you've been talking about a Jewish family, like with at least 4 or 5 kids under 4, okay? So this is like crazy, but we're sitting and we're not getting off the plane. We need to get off the plane. Now, when you're sitting on the tarmac, of course, there's a bunch of things you want to do. That's really nice. The stewards are, what do they call them today? Flight attendants. They're giving everybody water bottles. They're being very nice. But by the time you're holding over here, we're out of water already. Right? We're out of water. You know what? There's no water in the toilet anymore. Okay, everybody's been sitting on this plane. We're going crazy, and it's actually beginning to smell. We've had enough. And the people, now, obviously, you know what it is. Most of the Gentiles on the plane don't really have like kids. If they do, they have maybe 3 or 4, and most of the time they're, or 2 or 1, right? And most of the time they're very well behaved, right? We have different kind of children, right? So they're beginning to get annoyed with this family that's sitting on this plane, right? I think we're at that point now in America that we're sitting around a little too long already. People are beginning to get a little annoyed. I come from California. We just had a story this week, right? I think there's a little bit of a hint. Guys, we have no choice. We need to get off this plane. Now the Rebbe says to open up the door of the plane, to open up the door of the plane, he is not going to do it. He said that he is giving that over to us to do that. Now, if we're not going to do what he told us to do, and he gave us instructions, if he's not going to do, and we can be doing a whole bunch of nice stuff on the plane. You can be doing Mivtzayim, you can be speaking about Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, you can be making friends with everybody, learn another mimer on the plane. You can do beautiful, wonderful, excellent, Jewish, holy, Chabad, great things. But the Rebbe said it's time to get off the plane. It's time now to get off the plane. Do you agree it's a dilemma? It's scary because we're the ones who need to get off, who need to open the door to get off the plane. And for some reason, we haven't done it in the last 28 years. So you're going to ask me, why now? Why now? Okay, we didn't do it. No one figured it out. There was not one Chacham and Lubavitch who figured out yet what we have to do. So meanwhile, we're still sitting on the plane. And that's why, we ran out of water. Does anybody feel like a little bit uninspired already? Sorry, you can't raise your hand on that question. But I'm asking this question for you girls from a really true place. Does anybody feel like we don't have the water of inspiration anymore? Does anybody feel that there's a lot of garbage on the floor around us already because we've been sitting on this plane? Is anybody annoyed by stuff that happened in communities with Yidden, with stuff, with that? You know why? Thank you. What do you expect when you sit on a plane after a 14-hour journey and you're sitting on the plane for 28 years? Okay, it's a 2,000-year flight. But now we're sitting an extra 20 years on the plane, and we've done amazing things in Lubavitch. Let me tell you, we opened up another 500 Chabad houses and so many other shuluchim and so many gewaldige, awesome, unbelievable things in Mivtzayim and learning in yeshivas and schools. It's incredible what Lubavitch has done. Unbelievable, yeah, but we're still sitting on the plane. Where? Almost exactly where we were 28 years ago. How do I know that? Because the Rebbe said, you reached the destination. Now Mashiach has to come. And it didn't happen. So I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of sitting on this plane. And I'm going to break that door open as much I can. But I think it would help if all of you do it together with me. So what are we going to do? And you girls ask me, why now? Why now? Why now? Why now? I think it's a good question. I think I'll tell you why now. I think I'll tell you why now is because something happened in the last 2 years that is worthy of us noticing. It's worthy of us noticing that something is going on. And we better notice it now. What has been going on? Obviously you understand. You know, in order for Mashiach to come, we, the Jewish people, need to be the sole owners and occupiers of the entire land of Eretz Yisrael. You agree with that? Right? Eretz Yisrael belongs to us. And Yerushalayim belongs to who? To us. And the Har HaBayis belongs to who? To us. And that mosque that's on top of it needs to move away, and a Beis Hamikdash Shlishi needs to be built over there, right? So you know what? For all of our history, there's always been contested. There's always been problems. And suddenly in the last 2 years, we've seen the Rebbe in the Sikha before Chav Ches Nisan, before the Rebbe goes and drops the bomb, that he's not going to do it, but he's giving it to each and every one of us. We need to do it. Now the Rebbe didn't say, hey guys, see you later. I'm locked in the pilot, you know, is locked behind the pilot cabin, and you guys can knock on the door from today till tomorrow. I don't hear you. The Rebbe didn't say that. The Rebbe said he's giving it over to us. It means he is empowering us. He's giving us incredible strength. But he did say, but the Sikha before that, you know what the Rebbe keeps on talking about? The Rebbe keeps on telling us, why should we be inspired? What should inspire us to bring the Geula now? Because you reached your destination. How do you know you reached your destination? So the Rebbe started showing us all the miracles that were happening in the world at that time to tell us that we reached our destination. One of them is that the Golus, in a sense, ended. Because 3 million Jews, the only place left in the world where Yidden could not keep Torah and mitzvahs, and 3 million Jews were imprisoned in a prison. They could not leave that prison. They couldn't openly keep Yiddishkeit. And that was the last tail end of Gentile, Esav, oppression, of Yaakov, of the Jewish people not allowing us to do Torah and mitzvahs. And what happened suddenly in 1991 and in 1990 and 1991, without any explanation whatsoever, the whole Soviet Union, that was such a major, powerful iron curtain, no one can break it, like Mitzrayim. Suddenly those walls came crashing down, and all the Yidden were freed, and they can go to Eretz Yisrael. The Rebbe said, what's that if not Moshiach? And the Rebbe pointed to many other things. So, when we look at last year and this year, we see like unbelievable things. The Rebbe fought more than anything else, or one of the things that Rebbe fought tremendously for, is that we should not chas v'sholem entertain the thought of giving 1 inch of Eretz Yisrael to non-Jews, whoever they are. Whoever they are. And just 2 years ago, the entire world was ganging up. The entire world was ganging up on Eretz Yisrael, on the government of Israel, and that we must we must make peace with the Palestinians. We must split Yerushalayim. We must two-state solution. Gewalt, that's the opposite of Mashiach. That's the opposite of the Geula. And suddenly, in a miraculous way that no one understands and no one knows, something so unexpected, something so wild happened. Someone from totally out of left field suddenly became the president of this country and is doing everything the opposite of where the world was going. And for the sake of the Jewish people. A lot of stuff, unbelievable. And he does it on amazing dates. You know, the Rebbe said that, how do we know that these are signs of the Geula? Look in the Sikha, right before Chav Ches Nisan, there's a Sikha, the Rebbe says, Chavav Nisan. How do you know that's the powers of Mashiach? So the Rebbe says, because the Eibishter is showing to us. How is the Eibishter showing it to us? Because whenever these events that were happening, they're happening on special dates for the Jewish people. For instance, the Rebbe said that the Gulf War between Iraq was a threat to Israel, ended on Purim. That's what the Rebbe said. So I'm asking you girls, what happened this year, Purim? Unexpected. I know you girls don't follow the news maybe, I don't know if you know. But on Purim, the president announces suddenly out of nowhere that the Golan Heights, which needs the safety of the Jewish people, the Rebbe says that the Golan Heights, not the Rebbe, I'm right, the Rebbe says, because the reason he did it has nothing to do with him. It's because the Rebbe is the one who's in controlling everything. The Eibishter is controlling everything. The Rebbe is the Eibishter's conduit and shliach to bring about Mashiach in this world. And what happened? Out of nowhere, the president sends a tweet, Golan Heights, the United States recognized, belongs to Israel. This hasn't happened in 50 years. No one would dare say that. And then he announces, on Yutes Kislev, what did he announce? Another time. Yerushalayim belongs to Yidden when? Yutes Kislev. Then he goes, and our very own dear